8:09 a.m., and as promised, we have Dr. Schovanec in the house. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Anything to talk about at all?
Well, I'm a bit under the weather, so if my voice sounds a bit strange, not that it was ever anything to brag about.
Oh, well.
I think it's all the excitement and the travel the last few weeks kind of caught up with me.
Yeah.
But it's been an incredible experience for Texas Tech, for Lubbock, for the whole state. And it's been just, I think it's something people will remember for a long time. As I was walking back to the game, after the championship game, a gentleman came up to me as I was getting near the hotel, and he said, "I want you to convey to those young men that they gave me 3 days of my life that I'll never forget." And I think that's the sentiment of many people.
Yeah. Well, there's no question. That was the talk of the town. That's all there was. That's what everybody's mind.
And I think what made everybody so proud is when they were on that national stage, they behaved as if they belonged there.
Yes.
And even after they beat Michigan State, when went down into the locker room, they were reserved, just like they were at all the other games. They knew they had an ultimate goal of winning it all. And I'll never forget how devastated they were after we lost. They took it very, very hard. It was so sad.
Yeah. Well, what a letdown.
It was. And now we can go back and look at a couple of things. You know, Moretti never touched that guy. He goes to the line, makes 2 free throws. Things that made a really big difference. But when you're watching the game in real time, you couldn't help but be impressed how Virginia hit shot after shot.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, Virginia didn't do that well in any of the other games. I mean, if you watch Virginia, they made shots about like Texas Tech. Yeah. You know, they were a defensive team, and but man, they just hit every single shot they threw that night. And I mean, both of those teams did amazing. They both belonged there, obviously, and I'm just proud of Texas Tech and the way they did it. And They went into overtime. I mean, it's not like this was a blowout or anything like that. I mean, they did an amazing job. They held their own, and they always came back. They just ran out of time.
And after Odiasi sank those 2 free throws, and we're up 68-65 about 20 seconds ago, who would have ever thought that was going to happen last year after we lost so many players? I mean, it was an amazing accomplishment. Yeah. What a credit to Coach Beard.
Well, and this was the rebuilding year. Everybody said Texas Tech was rebuilding, and they put them number 7 in the Big 12, and then you have them number 2 in the country. I mean,
right. And I see they're doing that already. I guess it says something about us that we look at that stuff. But I'm sure Coach Beard is glad they're doing it.
What is amazing to me?
Underestimate him. He's okay with that.
What is amazing to me is how Texas Tech athletics has just become dominant so quickly.
Well,
in so many areas. Well, except football. But we're working on it.
And it will get there. And I think that's a real tribute to Kirby Hokut and the entire athletics staff that he has. But the kind of outstanding character you see in the coaches and the players they recruit. It didn't really happen overnight. You know, Kirby's been working at that for many years. A culture has been developed, and you're starting to see the fruits of it. And it's wonderful for this university and the community.
Yeah. So how are we going to keep Coach Beard?
Excuse me, that cough had nothing to do with the question. Kirby's been very proactive in these discussions starting a couple months ago. I understand. And I conveyed this to Coach Beard after the game. There's nothing more important to me, to this university, to all those people that love what he's done, to see him be our coach, build a legacy here that will last for a long, long time. And I'm very confident that we can get this done.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe him every time I hear him talk about how much he loves the players here at Texas Tech, and I feel like he wanted to be at Texas Tech. So I think that he wants to be here.
Coach Beard wants to be successful, and he wants to know that he has the resources, the support. The support is very important to him. He you've seen how often he's thanked the students and the fans. And I think we averaged over 12,000 this year in our home games. I think he made the comment at the welcoming back event yesterday that we probably had the best home court advantage in the Big 12. That's pretty neat. Mm-hmm. And with supportive people like Dusty Womble, that's contributed to the Womble, that's going to go up across the street. I don't know that there'll be a program in the United States that will have better facilities.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Let's. Can we take a break and we'll come back and close out a Wednesday. This is a Wednesday edition of Dave and Matt in the Morning on KFYO with Dr. Schovanec after this. And we're back here on KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. And our guest this morning is Dr. Schovanec. And, of course, we've been talking about basketball. What else? But we also have the Coliseum. It's disappearing, so I am told. Is that?
Well, yeah, this is true. So I guess is the rodeo concluded? Mm-hmm. So the demolition of the auditorium began some time ago, and the plans are that those two facilities will be gone this summer.
Yeah.
And it'll be a green space for next football season. That probably means there'll just be a few weeds coming up where there was buildings. And then we'll, over time, we're in the midst of some fairly significant discussions of the master plan for the university that we'll be taking to the board either in May or next August, and that include plans for that site. And as has been said many times, a possibility is a dormitory there that have a large contingent of athletes in it. But that's very much speculation at this time.
Well, and I'm told they're not going to have an implosion. It's being taken apart piece by piece. Is that right?
I'm not aware of exactly what they're going to do, but several people have suggested, let's go over there and blow it up. But I don't think that's going to – they're going to take it apart, as you say, Dave.
Yeah. Well, that would be something to watch.
But they are going to – they're making available seats that people they're going to provide a window where you can go over there and get the seats out of the Coliseum if you want them.
Oh.
They're not that useful because they're attached at the back, but I think they might be something that some people will be interested in having.
Yeah.
So, another big thing is the vet school. Now, one question I had is going to the NCAA championship. Did that help you at all with the vet school? You know, the national attention it got.
Well, I wouldn't say there's a direct correlation, but during the game, we received photos of some of the goings on in Austin, and the governor has been very supportive and acknowledging the success of the basketball team. I received a request yesterday that we get the team down there with Coach Beard to be recognized on the floor in the center of the house. And all of that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
At the same time, as you probably know, the bill in the House passed with everything we requested.
Like $17 million, I think?
Yes, and I'm so grateful for the leadership of the Speaker, Dustin Burrows, John Frullo, Price, and John Smithy, and Charles Perry has been fabulous in what he's been doing on the Senate side. I visited with Charles Perry briefly during the game. He was up there. He was in the suite with Senator Ted Cruz was there. I met Susan Graham before the game and gave her some tickets, and she went up there along with Pat Green and a lot of other Tech supporters. All of those things help. And but I wouldn't say that the vet school decision will be based on the merits of the case, not on the fact that we were in the national championship game.
Yeah. Well, we have a texter this morning who says, I don't know much about what's going on with the vet school situation, but why are they building it in Amarillo instead of Lubbock?
That's a very reasonable question, but here's why. In Amarillo, we have the Texas Tech Health Sciences Center, the School of Pharmacy. The resources there will complement what we'll be doing at the vet school. It's called this One Health concept, but also because the dairy industry, the feedlots are concentrated in the area around Amarillo. And it just as cotton is so important here in oil and gas is so important in Midland. You have the large animal industry ideally located around the Amarillo area. And the city has stepped up. Amarillo Economic Development Corporation has stepped up in a way that helped us raise that $90 million as well as many other supporters. But Texas Tech will have benefit here in Lubbock in a number of ways. So the benefit will be for all of West Texas.
Yeah.
So,
one other text message, Matt, is this: President Schovanec, too much winning basketball, baseball, meat sciences, chess. Can't contain my excitement.
Don't forget
Texas
the Palm
Tech.
Squad and the cheerleaders.
Palm Squad, but I'm going to have a meeting today.
And the you got Olympians over there in the track team.
But today, so that people know that just the full breadth of what's going on, we have a person on campus who's a member of the National Academy of Science from an Ivy League school that we've made an offer to. The governor, about 2 or 3 months ago, awarded Tech $5 million through the governor's University Research Initiative to try and help recruit this faculty member. We have work to do, but there's so much going on. I appreciate the comment about all of the success, but it's just a great time to be a Red Raider.
Isn't it, though?
It is. It is.
So we're running out of time, but y'all made headlines the day after the NCAA championship. You've got headlines about how y'all, as in Texas Tech, is no longer using race as admissions.
So, Matt, it is amazing. I wondered about the timing of that story.
Yeah.
Because Tech had been so prominently featured in the news, and we had Chris Cook had been in conversation with that reporter from the Wall Street Journal trying to explain the situation, and they incorrectly identified Texas Tech as having used race. We never have, and we don't now. That was a story about a case that began in 2004 or 2005 involving the admission practices at the Health Science Center. They reached an agreement in February of 2019 with the Office of Civil Rights and the Department of Education. And so they if you read that story, you might have assumed that Tech was using race.
Or at least the headline for sure.
The headline. I think it was clickbait. I shouldn't have said that, but that's I think the way I took it. But the other news agencies did get the story correct, and the system did release a statement clarifying that. So it's always something.
Yeah, and it was just one specific part of the HSC. Even it was what the School of Medicine, I think.
And so. They agreed that they would look at other aspects to create diversity in their class, such as socioeconomic class and other matters.
We're up against the clock, Dr.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We're always glad when you come out and impart information to us about the beloved Texas Tech.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.